everybody. It's me, Man Alone. It's so nice to see you. Already? I just saw you. Well, it's great that you're back because we have some wonderful fun to have today. This is the first installment of the Solo RPG Month inaugural round robin collaborative solo campaign. So, we're going to spend some time solo doing the opening act of a solo campaign, and then when I'm done, we're going to pass the torch along to another collaborator. And we already have a great list. So at the end of this video, we'll roll 1d4 to see who's going to be next here. And if you would like to be part of this, there is still time. Again, all you need is to be able to upload a video on YouTube. If you are interested, go ahead and send me an email at amanalone@proton.me, and we will get you set up. We're going to set the scene a little bit here before we start, so this may be a little bit longer, just by a few minutes than other people's, but just a little bit of housekeeping. Number one, in previous videos posts about this, I said that each person's contribution would be 10 minutes, but after some deep thought, some deep consideration, and some tinkering, and some sitting and considering my choices and my life and my future and my destiny, I realized that 10 minutes can be quite limiting to some of you. Okay, so I think 10 minutes might be harder for some of you. And the reason that I chose that time is because I wanted to make it easier on people. I wanted people to not be intimidated by the task. But I think what I learned just through just comparing things to like previous videos and seeing what I was able to do in 10 minutes, it's not much. So if you are a person that's thinking about doing this and you're like, yeah, 10 minutes sounds great, because if anything more than that, I would be too nervous to do it or it'd be too much. I think I'm going to change the requirements to 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So if 10 minutes is easier for you, do a 10-minute video. If 10 minutes is way too short and you feel like you won't be able to do anything in that time and you'll feel more pressure because of that, 15 minutes. So I'm going to set mine for 15 minutes. And our character, again, remember, is Stilton Tarwater, who was described as old-fashioned and brawny and has leather armor, who is calm and gloomy and is a dwarf who wishes to be a baker, has an axe, a battle axe, and is good at listening at doors. I figured this would be just kind of a good mental image. Obviously, those who play after me, you don't need to use like a standee or anything like that, but that's just what I use to envision things. And I also want to just say that to emphasize again that the point is to use not much, right? We want to encourage people to start solo playing and not feel like they have to buy a bunch of stuff, read a bunch of stuff, prepare a bunch of stuff, just like put it out there. And one of the ways in which I'm sort of like taking that to heart is I am just putting this out there. So this is going to be a single shot. And it'll be as good as it is. And no matter what, that's what my mind came up with at the time. And that's great. And I think just putting yourself out there and using your creativity, that's the win. And so no matter what, we want this to be a supportive experience, that emphasizes the low barrier to entry for solo playing. So if you have anything laying around, you could use it. But if you don't have anything laying around, and again, one-page solo engine is available for free. On my last video, you could take a look. I actually put a link to it. This thing is 3 pages long, and it pretty much has everything, not everything that you need, enough to get you from here to there. That's the solo essentials. Yeah, so the solo engine has setting the scene, like what NPCs do, how you move from hex to hex on a hex crawler, Yeah, so basically I printed out page 2 here if I wanted to use it. The other pages, because I'm using the Fate Mill, I don't need to use the Oracle. But this has most of the basic tools that you need to run solo. But I also provided the link to Errant, which the no art edition is available free, but I hope you do buy it. I guess it does have art on the cover. But if not, it's available for free on the website. Any tools that you want, you go ahead and use those, and you could use no tools. And in fact, that's what I wanted to do, but my thinking was, and actually this might be kind of flawed, but my thinking was, if you hap upon this video, you don't know who I am or whatever, you don't even know what solo RPG playing is. If I just soloed like from my own thoughts and used some dice and stuff, I think some people who see it, my thought was they would see it and be like, oh, well, I can't do that. That guy just wrote that before this video. And so I didn't want to give that impression, although I guess that wouldn't matter as well. But again, the point of this is I want to encourage people to get into it. So I don't want anyone to think that it's just kind of like a performance or something that was pre-generated. I wanted there to be some randomization involved. That's a good one. If you have no solo RPGs or RPGs at all, you can download that. The other one is this beautiful Mork Borg entry Ferritory. Has some really cool tools up front. If you're doing traveling, these are like events on the road that you can roll up. Fallen by Perplexing Ruins has excellent solo tools for bringing up NPCs. It also has like full pages of nouns, verbs, and adjectives, which can be very useful if you just need to summon up something out of nothing. And also, Runekarn has some of the best solo generators in terms of encounters. It has like these different D6 tables that list treasures, mysteries, mundane obstacles, and conflicts for different environments, like the forest, outposts, ruins, village, cave, stronghold. And that's just such an easy way to figure out like what's happening next. You just roll on what type of encounter it is, then you go to that, and et cetera. And it writes itself, people. It also uses this really cool rune oracle it's just the same way as an inspiration table. So those are just some options. Whatever you guys want to do, go ahead and do it. But again, the emphasis on kind of keeping it simple. For myself, you guessed it, I'm a shill, and I've just been using it, and this is what I'm used to. I'm going to be using the solo supplement from Alone in Deepfall Breach. I respect the opinion of those recently who say they were not as impressed with this as they felt it could have been better. I personally, and maybe it's because it really complements the way that I solo play, I find this to be an excellent resource that I feel that you can solo almost any game with just these 8 pages here. So I'll be using this. It is available in the Dragonbane starter set. And yeah, if I need anything else, I'll grab one of the other resources or I'll just make something up. And again, we're going to use the Fate Mill as the Oracle, which I think is really great. Saves a lot of time. And if we need to, we'll use the stat tracker that is, for wealthy individuals use that. It's a very elite tool. Okay, so we are starting in, let's see here. We're going to start in these woods right here. And I have like a bunch of spices on my countertop right now. So I'm going to cover my face and I'm going to look. And then the first spice I see is the name of these woods. Okay, these are the dill woods. So we're going to start in the dill woods. And let's just say I'm probably like 3 hexes or encounters away from the village. I want to emphasize that in the village here, these 43 things are undefined. It's undefined what they are because we haven't visited them yet. And so if you're the first person, those who are going to take over for me next, if you go to one of those and no one has been to it yet, you get to decide what's inside. Don't be limited by like the drawing or the structure. If all these look like houses, probably a lot of them will be houses because it's a village. But if you want it to be a shop, a restaurant, you want it to be a haunted house, a water refinery, an underground mine shaft, whatever it is. But then when after a person does explore one of these, that's what it is. So I'll try to figure out a way to keep like a list, maybe do a Google Doc to just keep a list of what all of these are. This whole adventure is going to take place in St. Ellen here. It's a little bit unusual maybe because usually if you start on the road in a lot of adventures, or if you're in a town, it's more for like meeting NPCs, especially early in the game. And that can happen here, but we're going to kind of combine the town with the dungeon delve. And the way that we'll do that is in 43 here, we're going to say that this is where the person who's running the town, and they're new to running the town. And so people here are going, it's like an occupied place. People here are going about their lives, going about their days, but we're going to be able to tell that like something's going on here, something's not right. And not to over determine this, but just to give us like an objective to think about. In this 43 is going to be the base of operations for whatever this, it's a villain is. And let's roll a d20 here, just in this random tables, just to see what the villain is. So, sorry, I just moved it and shook it. That is literally the only one I don't want. It's a monstrous predator, because I want this to be a place where people are still like living their lives. So if you have a 600-eyed, 50-tentacled monster occupying that, nobody's going to hang around, like do their laundry and be like, oh, I hope the monster doesn't come and take my laundry. So we'll say 9. Okay, this is Bounty Hunter. This villain is a hunter of people, selling their skills to the highest bidder without moral qualms. Great. And so they're a bounty hunter by trade. If you've seen Mandalorian or Boba Fett, maybe you have some idea of how a bounty hunter can take over a town. And then their crew, their fingermen are called the Shadow Folk. And they specialize in secrecy and stealth. So that's like their henchmen. All right. So we'll stop there. I'm not going to say anything else about that. I don't even know their name. We'll have to find that out. But this is like somebody has taken over the town. So they're in the mayor's mansion, maybe in 43 there. And they're running the place. People are nervous. They don't want to say stuff. We'll go with that, just so that we can kind of define the world that we're in a little bit, but we don't know anything beyond that. All right, so let us begin in the forest here. And I think, let me just get to the right page here. All right, wish me luck. Yeah, we'll go into the exploration table. Okay. Here we have our protagonist, our character. And this, I'd like to introduce everyone to Stilton Tarwater. And Stilton has recently, unfortunately, been exiled from his home. He lived in Gnarlboot Mines, but continuously, despite many opportunities to reform, continued to do baking instead of working in the mines. And this was a very much disgrace to his family, and eventually the community had enough. They said, you're not supposed to bake. You weren't assigned that job. You're supposed to be a miner. If you want to go bake, find someone who wants you to bake for them. And so they exiled him, which seems a little bit cruel, but basically they said, it's like suspended, right? It's like a Rumspringer, right? You have a year. You want to go out, you want to try and be a baker, go be a baker somewhere. But then after a year, you either come back to the mine and you do what you're supposed to do here to be a miner, or you're gone forever. And so he's out trying to find himself right now. He's in the forest. He's in the Dill Forest. And let's just see how many days has 3 days, been on foot, so he's pretty tired. And comes to a little bit of a clearing. Well, not a clearing, but but do it right about there. And let's roll once to see what's going on in this location. So it starts with a 1d4. That wasn't a roll. All right, a 1 is contents, and so this is a d20 inside this little area. 1, abandoned supplies. Okay, cool. So supplies, roll d6 for supplies. Let's see what we got here. A 5. So we found a quiver of arrows, and I'm just going to keep a little note of this just so that we can remember. So we found a quiver of arrows, and let's see. Oh, this is like my little HP tracker. So I think we'll say, is there anything else around besides the quiver of arrows? Maybe. Okay, so I guess I can search, but if I search, let's just say search, and for me, other players don't have to do this, but I'll do a threat tracker, okay? And if that gets up to 3, then I have to roll a threat. And every time I take some extra time to do something like that, it will advance that tracker. Why not? So we'll do a search table, and that would be a D10. That's a D12, always. 4. A hidden antechamber. So it's not going to be an antechamber, but let's probably out in the forest. But let's just say, looks like there's maybe like a little hut or something like that. Okay, so like moved aside some bushes and found like a little lean-to in the forest or something, right, like that, right? And so let's get some idea. It's probably going to be contents, I think, because I'm trying to even see, like, we wouldn't say that there's a... Well, let's give it a try. We'll roll a d4 here. I should say this is a weird d4 because it's usually on the outside of it. So actually, I don't prefer to roll that, but a 2. Okay, so 2 is environment, and we roll a d20 here. 4. So there's some mist coming out of it. There's some mist coming out of this lean-to. Let me ask the Oracle, is this, are we sure this is mist? Is this mist? No, let me ask this. Is this mist from nature, as in not from the hut? Is it like, okay, is the mist from the hut? Maybe. So I guess I got to go in to find out. So inside, let's say that we're going to, let me look at the inspiration table here. Let's just try to drum up something from the inspo. Because I think inside, well, let's just leave it to this interpretation. 12 is rescue. 9, destroyed. 6, defense. Okay, rescue, destroyed, defense. So we will say that, okay, I've got it. This mist, what I thought was mist, was that whoever lives here set up a sort of perimeter thing that was supposed to make some sort of like little explosions or something if somebody came by. But instead it rescued, destroyed, defense. I think it was rescue. Yeah. And so that the defense actually was like went off inside the hut. And so this like it's actually smoke trying to repair it or whatever, and I see that it is a person there who's inside, whose little security system didn't go very well. And in fact, I might use... Let me see if there's an NPC generator. Yeah, so this actually says to use a card draw, but let's see who this person is. I actually have this die here that has all the playing card stuff on it. So inside, 6. Okay, soldiers. So this is a former soldier in here, which makes sense, but probably an older person now. In my head, I'm seeing somebody like with a beard, and he's trying to, and I say, hey, are you okay? And he says, get back, right? Because he's very nervous. And I say, well, do you need some help? Let's see, do you need some help? Yes, and I need it quickly. Could you go get some water? And I say, well, where is the water? He says, well, behind this little lean-to, I have this thing of water. If you can go ahead and get that for me, because I think this whole place is about to start on fire. So I go around back of that lean-to, and I'm very surprised. And I see in the back, he's got this thing of water, but there's also this sort of storage case, and I think that it's locked. And I say, hey, is your water inside your storage bin? He says, yes, hurry. I say, well, it's locked. Do you have the key? He says, there's no time. Could you just open it? And so I think what we'll do is I have a D8 here. Well, actually, I'm using, I have an axe, and what I am going to do is my axes is 12, so I have to roll under 12. Let's see here. Roll under 12 to see if I'm able to break it. 17, hit nothing. I actually will push that. 14. Okay, so failed twice and got myself a little bit of a condition here because I wasn't able to break it. And so I say, hey, I can't break it. Now I'm exhausted. Yeah, so I'm going to roll everything with the Bane on that. Sorry, whoever plays next. All right, well, maybe you're not going to use Dragon Bane rolls, so maybe exhausted doesn't mean that to you. But he says, all right, just come around front and just get the key, okay? And so because he tried to throw the key at me and it fell, sort of it didn't make it to me, and so whatever was causing this like steam or heat or whatever, I got burned a little bit, and so I think I lost 1 HP down to 16, just as sort of a consequence of failing that little test there. It's early in the game, and so I go back around, I grab the water, and then I start dumping it out. I pass it to him, and we both put it out, and he says, I almost thought I was going to be a goner. And I said, well, I don't even know what was that all about. I just, all of a sudden I saw this, and what is this? Where are you? And he says, well, I've been out here for a while, and I don't prefer to be out here. And so it becomes clear that this guy had to leave the city, or the village, St. Ellen, because, let's see what, because, 1, avenge, 20, violent, 15, power. Okay, so he says, well, this person who took over the city, whose name is, I'm just going to go with like whatever letter, whose name is Leonidas. Leonidas is this bounty hunter who took over the city. And if it was the old days, the people there, they wouldn't even let him get a foothold. But times are tough and people are poor, and even the ones who know that he's crooked, him and his shadow gang. Oh, I can't remember what they're called right now, but they're all crooked, but you know what they're doing. They're using bribes and everything, but I know him. I recognize him, see, because I used to be a soldier. And that's not just any bounty hunter. That guy is one of the most deadly people that this land has ever seen. And he's pure evil. He'll take any contract. Though he tells people that he fought for the king and that he did what was needed to be done for the royalty and to serve his land. I know, I'm a soldier. I know brutality. I've stared directly at it. And Leonidas, the bounty hunter, is no good. I said, so did you get forced out? No, I left on my own to avenge this violent power, this Leonidas. And I said, how are you going to avenge? He says, well, I'm starting I'm starting to plan the resistance here. And I say, well, how long have you been planning? And he says, about 4 months. And I say, well, what have you done and what have you got so far in terms of the resistance that you're mounting? And he says, well, I had the perimeter bombs that I guess just went off and almost blew up my house. And then other than that, I have a quiver of arrows, but I lost those. I can't find it. And I realized that maybe this quiver of arrows in my backpack was probably the ones that he lost. And I'm trying to size up here because this is a pretty older guy. Doesn't look too strong. In fact, this whole time I've been imagining him wearing just like pretty much, maybe like pants, no shirt, ripped bottoms of the pants, and looks a little worse for wear. Maybe at one point could have been a soldier, but I'm thinking, I don't know, how much this guy's going to need these arrows. So I want to size him up a little bit more. And I say, so tell me, how did you come across this person as just like a soldier? How do you know anything about Leonidas the bounty hunter? He says, well, why are you asking so many questions? He says, you're not here as one of his henchmen, are you? And for that, I'm going to roll a charisma. And let's see, what is my charisma here? Charisma is 11. And so I say, well, I have to convince him that I'm not okay. Well, okay. So, we'll see. Maybe, whoever plays next wants to try to, convince, this gentleman, who does not yet have a name, but what do we know? We know that we gained, right for now, we have a quiver of arrows. We lost 1 HP. We have an exhausted effect, and I do feel bad about that. I shouldn't have pushed that roll. But I was kind of nervous because he was in a burning building, so it's not like I was being like egoic. But, if you're not using the Dragonbane system, just however you want to handle that or whatever, you don't have to use the Dragonbane system. But we need to find out who is going next. Who is 10 to 15 minutes. And so, where is the larger D4, just so everyone can see the roll? So good luck to 3. Solo Spelunking, you are next. That's all for me. Hope you follow along. Please make sure that you subscribe to all these wonderful people's channels. And I hope to have a great month with everybody. And again, please, if you're interested in this, if you're on the fence, you should do it. Why not? Do something different. Try something out. Who cares? It, it's not real. YouTube is just a fun place to talk to people and show each other our talents. Show us your talents. A man alone at proton.me. Send that over. Otherwise, hope you all have a great week. Bye.